Welcome to The Right Approach. I'm out here today at the Country Club of Jackson, and I'm honored to be joined by the Director of Golf, Ron Beurmann. Thanks for being on the show today, Ron.
Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. And as most everyone knows by now, you are retiring at the end of this year after 35 years as the Director of Golf, so congratulations on the upcoming retirement.
Thank you very much.
Now, before we get into discussing your time here at the club, I'd like to talk a little bit about your playing career, because I'm guessing a lot of people in Jackson might not know how impressive your playing resume is. So you started out, you went to Okemos High School.
Right.
Won a state title there in 1976. Team title, yeah. Yep, correct. Then you went on to play 4 years at Western Michigan University.
Correct.
So I'm kind of curious, what back then in the 70s, what was the recruiting process like then? You know, how many, what schools did you get offers to play at?
Well, it wasn't real official with me because probably 3.5 weeks prior to that, to Western starting school, I didn't know where I was going.
Oh, really?
Because my senior year in high school, I didn't play on the golf team that won the state championship my junior year. I played football.
Oh, really? No kidding.
Yeah, so I played football my senior year in high school, and so I didn't get recruited for golf because of that. My best friend, Bobby Fossum, his dad was the coach at Michigan State, and I don't think he was too happy about me playing football my senior year, so I didn't get recruited by Michigan State. So probably the 1st of August, somebody knew the coach at Western, and they called him and said, hey, we got this guy, you might want him to come down. So I went down, I talked to the coach, and played a couple rounds of golf with him, and he offered me a partial scholarship to go to Western.
Oh, that's a cool story. I didn't know that. So what made you decide to play football instead of golf? I'm assuming you're a good junior player. Obviously, your team won a state title, but did you have that love and passion for golf at the time, or you just wanted to play football?
But I had a lot of friends that were coming off of they were on the football team as juniors, and they were coming off their first play in the state finals of football, the first ever at the Silverdome. And Okemos, my high school, lost to East Grand Rapids in the finals.
Oh, wow.
So there were a lot of seniors leaving, and my friends were coming up, and all-state running back that we had, Todd Scarlett, he was coming back, one of my best friends. And so I said, you know what? I asked Coach Pete Schmidt, who was our head football coach, that went on to win the national championship at Albion.
Yeah.
I said, hey, Coach Schmidt, if I come out, he goes, come on out, we'll throw some passes, do some working out, and we'll see. And he said, you're going to play a lot.
Yeah.
So I was a split end, returned punts and kicks, and got to play my whole senior year with my buddies that I grew up with.
Yeah, so chasing that state title, try and go back-to-back years, golf state title, and then football state title.
Yeah. Now we won. We were 7-1, but back then, you couldn't lose a game to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, right.
So we went 7-1, won their league championship, but didn't get into the playoffs. But I still don't regret it.
Yeah, I bet. So you got out of college. 1982, I know, was a special year for you.
Right.
You won the GAM championship that summer and also qualified for the Buick Open.
Yes.
So what was it like teeing it up in a PGA Tour event? How nervous were you?
I was very nervous. I qualified at Bay Valley Country Club up in Bay City, and right afterwards, when I found out, I drove right to Warwick Hills, and I had family that were members at Warwick.
Oh, okay.
So I knew I'd have some people watching, and I think I was too excited to figure out what was really going to happen that week. I just knew I made it. And so I remember teeing off one of the first wave in the afternoon behind couples and some other guys, and their crowd was huge, but they all kind of left the first tee. And I hit a great drive, and I hit a beautiful 3-wood, and old wooden clubs, and knocked it right on the first green at Warwick, and I 4-putted. And I think I shot 41, and then I shot 35 on the back nine and shot 76, but it was a great experience, and I shot 73 or something the next day. I missed the cut, but I kind of felt like I knew what was happening a little bit, so that's when I really started to practice and thought I better maybe go down and play the mini tours and go to Q school just to try it.
Yeah. And so that fall you went to Q school. I believe you
Right.
were one spot out of making it to the final stage of Q school.
Yep. The last round on a blustery day, I played the first 2 rounds with Paul Azinger back then when he was trying to get on.
Okay.
And shot 1 or 2 under, and then shot even maybe the 3rd round, and the last round was in a gale, rain, everything else, and I shot 73, and I thought, well, I'm perfect. I was
Yeah.
at 23rd place or at one point, and then people 69, 68, 70 started coming in, and the arrow, they used to have that red arrow,
Yeah.
and it kept going up, and it went up 1 too many spots. So instead of going to finals and being guaranteed either the tour or a Ben Hogan tour spot back then, I was out, had to wait till the next year.
Yeah.
So
But it was then when you turned professional,
Yes.
and then you got your first club pro job the following year, right?
yeah, at Kalamazoo Country Club, where I'd gone to school, basically at Western Michigan
Western.
University. So I went to work for Dick Stewart at Kalamazoo Country Club my first year, 1983.
And so obviously you ended up here at Jackson, 1991, I believe, your first year here. What kind of brought you here to Jackson?
Well, I was an assistant pro at Kalamazoo at Detroit Golf Club
Okay.
and at Bloomfield Hills Country Club for 3 years. And then I got the head professionals position at the Flint Elks Country Club. So kind of the course across town from Warwick where they used to play the Little Buick Open. So I was there for 3 years, and then this job came open, and I had never been here. And I thought, it's got such a great reputation, and I know some people at Bloomfield that knew some of the members here.
Okay.
So the connection, eventually I got an interview, and then narrowed 40 guys down to 10 guys. I got an interview, then those down to 3, and I got another interview. And then Jim Pickford, who's a local
Yeah.
Hall of Famer,
Oh, yeah.
he was on the committee. He called me one winter night, and I answered the phone. He said, "Hey, this is Jim Pickford. How long you been waiting for this phone call?" And I said, "I think all my life." And he said, "How would you like to be the next golf professional at the Country Club of Jackson?" And I said, "I absolutely would." And so that's how I ended up here. I think we started packing that night.
Really?
Yeah.
And you've been here 35 years, and in this industry, that's kind of rare, for a guy to stay at one place for that long. A lot of guys kind of move around different clubs.
Right.
So what was it about Jackson or this club that you wanted to make this your home for the rest of your career?
Well, I think I was always taught that, there's quite a line between employees and members. When you go to country clubs, it was kind of brought up that way. You got to keep that line, but it was very hard here because I had so many friends right off the bat that were members initially that when we met and I was around for a few years, we became friends, and it just was more of a family atmosphere. Everybody treated you the same here. And so we did our job, which we thought we were doing really well, which I think we did. And people just gravitated toward it, and it just turned out that it was such a family place. My family could use the club, and my family swam and played golf here, and eventually worked here, either for me or for the country club. So you just kind of, as the seasons went on, we just kind of intertwined, and I think the boards, all the great boards and presidents that I had, I could just tell everything was good. They'd always ask me, "Do you need anything? Is everything fine? Is things going good for you?" And if there were some issues here and there, we talked about them. Some of them were that, wasn't playing enough golf with members, or, little things. So it just kept building, and I had a chance to leave 8 years after I had been here to go to Bloomfield Hills, back to where the only job I ever wanted, I would have ever left here to go to.
Okay.
And I got interviewed, I got offered the job, and I drove home that night, and I said, I got to think about it. And I got home to my house around the corner here on Mapledale, and it was a beautiful night, and I go, what am I even thinking about? So I called him immediately and said that I'm not coming, I'm staying here. And that was a long time ago.
Yeah, that speaks a lot to this club and this golf community. Like you said, it's a really tight-knit community, and
You bet.
and that family atmosphere out here at the
The
club.
golf course and the facilities and the members. It really makes it a special place, and everybody in town thinks it's a special place, and
it sure
and it just has a great reputation.
And now I know your first year here in '91 was the year that they opened the Marsh, you know, the third nine out here. So what kind of challenge did that present to you? It's your first year here, and now for the first time you got 3 nines. You know, what was that like?
Well, it sounded at first like it was going to be a little confusing, but it's actually 2 nines the same and 1 9 a little different.
Yeah.
So we had to kind of play it out and use it, I think at the start, like a buffer 9. You know, if things were a little slow, somebody's coming off 9,
Yeah.
and the marsh was open, they'd go over there and play. And boy, they'd zoom around there, and then all of a sudden people got the flow. And they just figured out, and we figured out, you know, the best use of that course. And I wouldn't say it gets played as much as the original golf course,
Sure.
because it's a little harder and it has more hazards,
Yeah.
but it's in such great shape.
It is.
And people now, they insist on going over there.
Yeah.
They love going over there because they don't have to wait as much, and so we've kind of encompassed it into our tee sheet,
Yeah.
and it seems to flow really well. It was difficult at the very start, but I had Wally and some other people, and we all worked on it, and we came up with it. So
I think it's the best 9 holes in Jackson, you know, personally.
yes, yeah. From the back tees,
Yeah.
it's definitely the hardest,
Yeah.
for sure.
So as you worked here at the club, you still kept playing a little bit. You know, you went on to win, I believe, a Michigan PGA Match Play Championship, a Michigan PGA Championship. You know, you won a lot on the senior circuit. You know, a couple of Michigan Senior Opens. I think you played in 15 PGA Professional Championships.
I think I've played. I think I'm up to qualifying for maybe 20 or 21 of the club professional championships, and I think I just qualified again for, I think, my 13th senior club professional championship. So we qualified for a few. Yeah, yeah.
And two senior PGA championships.
3 now.
3 now.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Pretty remarkable. You know, how much time do you devote to your game, you know, when you've got so much on your plate working?
it is difficult. I try to hit balls when it doesn't take away from my job. I'll sneak over and hit balls for maybe an hour or a half hour here and there, or in between lessons.
Yeah.
But I think the thing that's changed as I become older is I don't play as much anymore. We're a busier club, and I don't play as many rounds of golf here as I used to back in the old days. And that's a big difference. Hitting balls is one thing,
Yep.
but having the feel around the golf course, I've seen that kind of diminish,
Sure.
over my last probably 5 or 6 years. So, but I still enjoy competing when I can.
Yeah. And you've got you're not only a member of the Jackson Golf Hall of Fame, but the Michigan Golf Hall of Fame. You know, you won the Michigan PGA Player of the Year once, as well as the Michigan PGA Professional of the Year. And you also have the course record out here with a 59. And was that playing with some members? And what year was that?
2002, I believe. And it was with Dick Schneider. Remember
Okay.
Dick Schneider that worked at the bank, and Chris Lingo, one
Chris
of my
Lingo.
members.
Okay, I was playing with Chris.
Yep, just walked right out of the shop. My shoes were untied and went right to the first because they were a guy short for the Saturday morning group.
Okay.
And then just went to the first tee and tied my shoes and hit my ball and went down, and I birdied 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Wow.
And then I parred 6 and 7, and then I birdied 8 and 9. So I was 7 under at that point, and then I parred 10, and then I eagled 11 and birdied 12. So I was 10 under, and then I missed a 5-foot putt on 13, and I had a 4-footer coming back, and I was thinking over that, wow, this would not be the one to miss right now. And I made it, and I birdied 14, didn't birdie 15 from 5 feet, birdied 16 and 17. Wow. So I was 13 under standing on 18T, and I had a driver and a rescue club in the middle of the green. I was 25 feet for eagle. So I got over that.
So that's a putt for 57.
For 57. and I left it 3.5 feet to the right. The pin was in the back right, and it sloped over, and I stood over that. And the first time all day, I said, "Oh my God, if I miss this putt, I am. This is the only thing I'm going to remember." And I missed it. And so I shot 59. But it's a great story. But I do think about it once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to feel good to be able to three-putt for a 59 on your last hole.
Yeah, I probably did think about that, when I was getting over it. But
A little nervous, I imagine, on that. Last green.
It's hard to really remember. I mean, I was putting so well. I'd made a bunch of putts, so obviously. And so I don't know if I was really thinking about it, but I was thinking about the next one a lot. So.
Well, I've never seen you hit a golf ball, but everyone says what a phenomenal ball striker you are, that you almost never miss a shot. And,
Yeah.
I mean, is that the strength of your game, your ball striking?
Yeah, well, it has to be because it's not my putting. I can tell you. I'm an average putter. I can get streaky once in a while, but, I think that's the one thing in my game that seemed to hold me back, for most of my career. I mean, I had a good career, won some tournaments, but it's the seconds and thirds that really hurt me because, I knew I three-putted a lot. I missed a lot of short putts. I mean, I haven't had problems with real short ones for a long time.
I know about that.
And I'd still win.
Yeah.
But it was because I had to learn to hit it straight and hit it on the green, hit a lot of greens. If I hit probably 16 or 17 greens around, that's what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
So it was just, I had to do it.
So obviously a lot of accomplishments over the year at the club. It's one of the premier clubs in Michigan. What has been the most rewarding, part about working here over the years?
Well, I just think the membership is just so great. They're happy. They love the club, and they love bringing their guests here, and their guests are always happy. And I think that's the feeling that you're going to stay here a long time. When people come back, they remember you, recognize you, and I think over the years, I think that's why you stay this long, is that things like that happen, and people just get used to it. And they want to keep that flow and that spontaneity going, and we just have that culture here at the country club, and we try to maintain it.
And obviously Jackson, not a big town by any means. Twice you've been the Michigan PGA merchandiser of the year. Mm-hmm. So you move a lot of product through the shop, don't you?
Right, right. Well, and and I'm lucky because I don't have I don't have Dick's in town.
Yeah, sure.
Or Carl's Golf Land.
Right.
I don't have any of those places near me. So I can have a lot of product, and so we run a lot of tournaments through here. So we do a lot of certificates, and we do city championships and masters, and everybody goes through me. So I try to keep the shop, as stocked as I can all year round, and then we have our sale in February, and then we start all over again. So we do sell a lot of merchandise, but we carry a lot of stuff too, and we try to take care of everybody in town as much as we can.
Yeah, not just members, but yeah.
Right. Yeah. Members bring guests in, and guests can take advantage of our pricing because our pricing is very good. Yeah. So makes a big difference.
You've helped me out a few times over the years getting some things for me.
Yep. So. Yep. Well, we appreciate it. That's for sure.
How about talk a little bit about the Evans Scholar program and the caddy program out here? I think that's one of the great things, that you've done out here. You've always had a strong caddy program. Do you have any idea how many Evans Scholars you've had over your years here?
Oh, I would think it's in the 20s at least, maybe even close to 30, because we usually get 1 or 2 in just about every year. So, I mean, it could be more than that. We have 3 or 4 kids still there at school, and we have another one, Javen, that's going to be interviewing this fall.
Oh, great.
So once he goes through, we'll probably have another one. I don't know if he's going to Michigan or Michigan State yet, but the program, it's been a lot tougher in the last 5 years because the cost of carts is at one price, and the cost of caddies, it should be at a certain price, which is more than double
A cart.
what a cart is.
Yeah.
So we've gone to a little different system where caddies are on call. Instead of caddies showing up here and being in line, we have a list of them that have qualified to be caddies, and we can call them and tell them, well, we have a job for you at 9:10. So they don't have to come at 6 in the morning and sit all
around
day
and wait.
and not get a job.
Yeah.
So the caddy program has changed. We're trying to revamp it with different things going on with the club, giving members more incentives to use them, whether it's a free 9-hole guest pass or something, if they'll just use some of our caddies. So we're definitely trying, with the help of a committee of 3 or 4 people. So we're trying to bring it back as much as we can. We'll see where it ends up, though.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And you've also done a lot of renovations to the course in the last few years. Tree removal, but then also the last 2 years you did bunker renovations on both the pines and the woods.
Right.
And man, does the course look beautiful. It's
Yeah,
just phenomenal.
and we're having a tournament out here as we speak. 150 guys from around the state, seniors, playing the GAM Senior Championship, and the comments that we're getting are phenomenal. 2 years ago, they came from our master plan that we had done. Chris Wilczynski, the architect, put the plan together, and we started the back 9 2 years ago on October 1st. So they revamped trees, bunkers, moved them, got rid of some, turned 1 into 2, and for 29 days in October, they did the whole back 9, which is unbelievable.
Yes, it
and
is.
then last season, from October 1st to the 26th of October, they did the front 9. So it's been completed. It's you've played?
I played the back 9.
Right.
I have not played yet this year, so I haven't got to play the front 9
Okay,
yet.
well, we'll get you on there this fall, okay? It's beautiful, and from what the guys are saying that have played it before, they say it's fantastic, and it's in great shape all the time, so
Yeah, always
that
is.
continues to, that's never going to change. So
Yeah, and then you did a big clubhouse renovation a few years ago as well, and man, it's beautiful inside
yeah,
the
we
clubhouse.
did, I would say 3/4 or 2/3 of the whole club was redone, from some things down in my area at the golf shop all the way to the ballroom. We have a new sports bar,
Yeah.
new formal dining, a new boardroom that we're sitting in right now. Used to be the simulator room. And we have a new halfway house and just updated a lot of things here that have really made a difference.
Well, I know I've always, as everyone in the Jackson golf community appreciates all you've done for Jackson Golf. Every year you host a men's tournament, either the city championship or the Jackson Masters. You host a Women's Golf Association event every year. You host a Mercer Junior Tour event every year. So, I know everyone really appreciates everything that the club has done for Jackson Golf in general.
Well, that's the great thing about our club, is that we continually do the stuff that takes care of not only our members, but the rest of the community.
Sure, yeah.
That's what makes us all feel like one. We do have our members, but I have as many friends that aren't members here in Jackson that need something, need help, maybe need a lesson at time or two, and I just feel like helping them out helps the club and helps, because who knows is going to want to join. And we've had lots of people join in the last few years.
Yeah.
And the reputation of the place, people are starting to really come in and use it and feel comfortable here. Where maybe in my first 5 or 10 years, people, they weren't sure if they could join. They weren't sure how they were going to feel here or be treated. And I think once people came, they found out that, wow, I should have done it 20 years ago.
Yeah.
That's the biggest comment that I get from people.
And the great thing about your retirement is your successor is already in place. Henry Thompson's going to be the next director of golf once you retire. I know Henry's been with you for a long time, so
Right.
I'm sure you're probably thrilled that Henry gets to take over for you.
Absolutely. Well, there are 4 employees that I've had over the course of 35 years that I've either had 1, 2, or 3 of them working for me at all time. They have 70 years devoted to me and the country club.
Wow.
in employment. And Henry Thompson has been here, 20 25 years this year. So he will be taking over for me come January 1st, and I couldn't be happier. He's not only a fellow worker, but he's one of my closest friends, and I think he's going to keep things going here.
Oh, absolutely.
And-
He'll do a great job, I'm
Yep,
sure.
the consistency will continue.
Yep, and even Patrick Humphrey, the assistant pro, has been with you for 10 years now. So.
Right, and he'll be back. And then the two interns that I've had, Ben Mano and Louis Redovich, they're going to be working next year also. So Louis is coming back from Fair State.
Oh, okay.
He's been in the program a couple
Yep.
years. So Henry's going to have a tremendous staff.
Yeah, that's great to hear that the club's in great hands. So.
The culture will continue.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, Ron, I appreciate all you've done for Jackson Golf, especially here at the club over the last 35 years, and congratulations on your retirement.
Thank you.
Yep, and you'll be a Jackson legend here in the golf community forever. So.
Well, I plan on staying around here for a while, so I appreciate it. And thanks for the time today.
Yep, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks a lot.
That's Ron Beurmann, Director of Golf at the Country Club of Jackson, and you've been watching The Right Approach, sponsored by Cascades Golf Course.